Oh, today is the 7th of December and it's cold right now. It's 20 something degrees today, tops. The heat broke. It was 40 degrees yesterday and 2 days ago, and now it's overcast and it's gray. It's probably going to rain, which is good, I think, better than 40 degrees weather. I passed out basically most of yesterday and didn't really function well. My body feels like it's very heavy. I passed out between 5 to 9, I think, as well. It was quite bad. I have aircon on, but at night when I was going to sleep, but I didn't really turn it on like during the day because I don't know, I don't my sinus is really bad, especially when it comes to like cold weather. It get irritated so much. Also, I am just finished washing my bed sheet. Also, um my mic is broken or the transmitter is broken, so I super glued it together and kind of just prayed that it works. And I hope this is working because if it doesn't, well, oh well. Um, I feel like also I was talking to ChatGPT because I don't have any friends or family. Also, my feed has been giving me the algorithm of being autistic again, which is quite common this time of the year. Basically saying I most autistic women, adult, don't have friends or family, so life is very difficult. And I don't know. I feel like I saw this feed and it was quite spot on. It's like we worked hard and we gained our degrees and we got sick, and then now we are broken, couldn't do anything, which I probably don't agree with if I were younger, because I felt like when I was younger I definitely fell into that trap of believing that if you work harder you will get to where you want it. But life is not like that, to me anyway. I feel like I'm been living the life that I used to judge other people for, meaning like I used to judge people when they're not successful. Like my parents weren't successful. They died really poor. They died sick because they didn't have enough money to go to the doctor. So I feel like I have been living the lifestyle of my parents for the past 14 years almost, which is, not having any money to buy food, not having any money to buy your own even housing, meaning like you have to rely on other people and you have to always have this fear of being so afraid of things always being taken away from you. And to be honest, I feel like they managed to get to 60s or 50s. I used to think like they died very young, but with the circumstances of their lives, now I feel like they lasted as long as they could, and I feel is good for them. I mean, I am only 42 and I don't particularly want to live till 60. It feels like it's a long time to just continue to suffer again and again. But I guess the difference is between when they were my age, 42, 40, they had me and my brother, so it's different. Like they had kids, and I think that usually probably will make people keep going in some way, to make sure that their kid reach adulthood at least, which we did. We were in our 20s when they died, I think. Well, I was in my it was 9 years ago when my dad died, so I was in my 30 already, beginning. I'm just contemplating about the life of this side of the society, which is the poverty side. And I guess I have always been living in poverty, but I don't think I can say that out loud in other people's psyche, because like in front of other people, because in other people's psyche it's not really matching, because I'm still have my clothes, for example. Even though if you look at my clothes, if you see me day to day, you'll know that my clothes are quite old. Like it's been like 10 years or 50 or 5 years old, and it's not changing. And like there is a lack of turnover when it comes to my life. You probably like it's probably very obvious. Like I wear the same thing and I eat the same thing, and you know, poverty is not my poverty is not like no, the way I react to poverty, I guess, is not the same way normal people react to poverty, mainly because maybe one, I'm autistic, so the more chaotic it is outside, the more stoic I look, even though it's probably very chaotic inside. And I'm probably having like a trauma response inside, but like on the outside, it's the more chaotic inside, the more stoic, and the more as if that I don't have any emotion under my face on on the outside. So I guess it's hard for people to think that I'm in distress while I am in distress. I have tried to kind of express myself, I guess, in when I'm in distress, but normal people can't handle it because I feel like it's normal, but for them it's too stressful to handle because for them it's like the signal of me expressing my emotion is like normal people expressing distress level 100 out of 100, while I'm just expressing my normal maybe I don't know 7 out of 10, which is not like the max, but 7 out of 10 is a normal kind of distress level because when you're autistic you're always at a discomfort somewhere and you're always stressed about something. Your body is always out of alignment and always trying to adjust either to the temperature, to the weather, to the sound around you, the noise pollution. Like a lot of things are happening, right? Uh, and as I get older, I feel I'm becoming less and less tolerant in trying to adjust myself to society's rule and society's temperament. Mostly trying to adjust to extrovert people that are quite opposite than me because like I would like to differentiate myself usually like oh I'm different, I'm not like that. But extrovert people, neurotypical extrovert people usually want to conform. So if you say oh I'm like this, they would go oh yeah I'm like this too, so that it's kind of ingrained in their brain like if we have something in common we can be friends. um which is very different philosophy than being autistic, I think, as well. So today is gonna be the lowest temperature for this week, I think, because starting tomorrow, the temperature is gonna go back up to normal summer weather, which is 27 degrees, which is not 40 degrees, but it's not 20 degrees. It's like normal temperature, summer weather, 27, 30, 32. That's an acceptable temperature during summer. 40 degrees, I'm not even functioning at all. I'm not even here. I'm not even in the body. I'm out from the body. I get kicked out from the body. So it's only like, it's not even 5 o'clock right now, but the vibe feels like it's almost 8 p.m. It's like really dark, which is very different than yesterday. Um, I'm having lots of pain in my body. I'm trying to figure out what to do next year, but I can't really figure it out. Like, I know I said this in another video. Talking like this really helps me nowadays. And also, not having any schedule with these particular talk videos is very helpful for me too, because I don't find myself trying to keep up with the schedule, not trying to find myself, um, being exact with my words and I don't have an agenda with this channel. It's just me trying to channel all my thoughts into something, I guess, a container. I don't have that in real life. Um, yeah, I tried to make dumplings today, but it failed. I thought I made wontons, but apparently I didn't. I really should have bought a different type of skin for a dumpling skin, not wonton skin, because apparently it's different. The way the thickness is different, I think, and also maybe it's made from different wheat. I think, or flour. I mean, like it's different flour. I think dumpling is made with egg yolk and flour, so like pasta. And I think wonton isn't. I might be wrong. After I calculate everything, like the supplies, the ingredients, and the time put, I realize it's probably cheaper to buy a bag of dumplings from a frozen bag from Aldi for 1 kilogram for under $10, which is approximately the same price I think I bought for the whole supply. And probably around $15 or $10, and even the excess is not going to be 1 kilo for the whole thing. So I think it's better to buy next time. I will buy next time. I'm having a lot of not emotional issues, more like the same existential issues, I suppose. It's not much different. It's just the difference is I'm not in pain or in suffering or in distress. It's just my head and my thoughts are like, what do you want to do for next year? I'm like, I really don't want to do anything because I don't have anything to do, because I don't particularly have a goal, because I want to reach something and it never came. So I'm too lazy now. No, I'm too out of energy now to set a goal because it never reached. And even if it does reach, then usually it's not satisfying. So it's like, what's the point? I know it's so pessimistic and everything, but also the pigeons been pooping on my balcony again, and it's just driving me nuts. It's like it's been over a decade I've been fighting with pigeons, and it hasn't come to a resolution. And December is like everything stops in Sydney. Everything just stops. That's why I was rushing to solve something last month, which is November, but it didn't come true. So now I am in this limbo again, which I feel like how my life is. It's like my life is always in limbo. It hasn't, like, it doesn't land anywhere. It's like 42 years. I feel like I'm always in this purgatory level of existence. I don't have this permanency as such. It's like even when I have been living in this place, for example, for almost no for more than 19 years, it's not like mine, right? Like I can always going to be kicked out at any time, as they always say to me. So it's like I don't have anywhere that it is belong to me, and I guess I'm tired not having a place to belong in society, in personal life. Sorry, I didn't mean to cry. It wasn't a crying thing. I was actually just came out trying to talk because it's not hot. So I was like, oh yeah, it's not hot. Let's try to do something, because apparently I can't really talk when I'm inside. Um, but I can talk when I'm outside on the balcony. So it's like, oh, all right, this is a way to go. Um, so yeah, it's just very hard. And I guess as I get older, I don't want to compromise myself, because mostly because I don't have the energy. I'm exhausted. So to compromise means you need to have energy to do that, because you need to modify a lot of things, right? You need to accommodate other people. You need to change to their style, which I think are what I always have done in the past. But now I just feel like I don't want to do that. I can't anymore because I don't have the energy. Definitely not going to have children because I don't even have the energy to make dumplings, let alone raise children. Although I really like having like babies between 6 months to 1.5 years. So cute. They're so cute, especially if they're fat. Because what happens is during that period, right? During that 1 year period between 6 months and 1.5 year, which is 18 months, their weight don't really change that much, but their form, like the way they look, changes so much, because when they're 6 months, like they're just this lump of fat, and then throughout that 1 year period to when they're 18 months, like their limbs are growing longer and longer, and then their torso is also growing longer, so like they're becoming more human, but like, and the fat kind of spread out evenly throughout their body, so they still weigh kind of the same, but like their surface level just like changes. Like first they were just a lump of fat, and then they become more human, which is really cute. I think it's really cute. I think I'll just be a good auntie or good grandparents or good grandaunt. I think I'll just like wait until people make babies. I'll be like, oh. I was saying today in the vlog that I'm tired of existing and not gonna do anything drastic. It's just something that's always there, I guess, ever since I was a kid. So it's not new and it's not ever going to go away. I'm sure, like by the time I'm 80s, I feel like I'm gonna be saying, I've been ready to go back to heaven ever since I was 5 years old. So it's been 75 years now. Why am I not dead yet? I think that's always gonna be the vibe. I just feel like even if good change happens, it will still require energy, right? It will still requires adjustment, and that will still be shock to the system. I don't know. I was like saying to ChatGPT, what happens like if you have a wrapped year like Spotify? It summarizes for me your most said words to throughout this year is IDK, which is I don't know, and long, but not in a happy way. And yeah, I feel like, oh God, this is definitely not a happy talk, is it? But it's an honest one, I suppose. I think like a year doesn't happen in a year. I feel like these days, as I get older, that there is a 2 years cycle. I feel rather than a 1 year cycle. So it's like 2004, 2024, 2026, 2025 is 1 year. Maybe 2026 or 2027 is another year. So maybe it's a new cycle. Maybe it's something that is good going to happen to me. I'm trying to activate my parasympathetic system again, which is my rest and digest system. And it's hard, it's really hard to do. My headache is coming back really strongly these days, and my body is aching again. And I am not, I don't want to say I'm not doing well. I'm doing okay, but I'm not taking care of myself again. I can see myself not feeding myself, not stocking up on my in my for my fridge, for example, and starting to let go of a lot of things that I should not have let go. Which is like very simple things, like I didn't buy my night pad for periods, like for, so it's like women period pad. I, even though I knew I probably needed it, I didn't buy it when I was going to have my period. And of course, like, it turned to into a disaster because I was staining my bed sheets. Oh, so this is not happening right now, this was happened like last week or 2 weeks ago. And I have to kind of just put a lot of work to make sure that the bed sheets stain come off and the blood stain come off, and have to buy like hydrogen peroxide, which is cleaning a bleach, like a very gentle bleach. Usually it's for wound, so to clean your wound. So it's in Coles or at Woolies, it's in the medical supplements area, and that means like it's extra money. And I just realized, when I did all of that, I just realized, so I'm doing more work now because I wasn't taking care of myself proactively. Now, reactively, I'm doing a lot more work. I'm spending a lot more money. It's just like that. Like, I know if I'm not being proactive, that I'm actually going to spend more money and more energy in the long run. But even when I knew that in my head, I feel like I couldn't be bothered. I just want to drop it. I don't want to be shackled with the feeling of taking care of myself, which is not good. And I feel like I definitely don't have any regrets not having kids, and because I feel I don't want to drop my kids' needs just because my headspace is not in the right place. And I definitely don't trust men enough to help me with taking care of the kids. Just because you lived long enough, you definitely know men's character, and there is never ever, like, if you want to have kids, you better have to figure it out, like the support system that you need without men. So you need to figure out your financial support, you need to figure out like your social support, like, and you need to figure out like the childcare facility that you need to have available throughout their childhood. Like, you need to figure that out before you actually have kids, because you need to get the men out of the whole formula. Like, if they're around, great, like that's a bonus, but they're not should be part of your core plan, in my opinion and in my belief anyway, because it's not great to rely on that. Um, I guess I also see nature as part of the example, because when I see nature, it makes sense. It's like, oh, okay, most female would just take care of their cubs or their young ones alone without the help of the male. Male usually just make sure that the procreation happened, and then they kind of wandered off, right? And that's just how it is in the nature usually, not always. Like in the birds society, I think most of them, the male have to stick it out with the female, and to make sure that the kids kind of survive. But also, I think, I'm not sure which species of birds, but I also saw like in the documentary once, like, there will be men who took mistresses when their wives, so their primary partner, also are incubating their eggs and stuff. So they would mate with another female bird, but the mistress uh, offspring usually would not have the protections of the male. So the male will not focus on the mistress offspring as their main offspring. So the mistress offspring would have the higher likelihood of them being perished or being taken by as prey by other animals. And so yeah, so I'm like, okay, at least from that particular documentary, I learned, if you are going to form a relationship with men in terms of partnership and bringing up a family, you at least have to be the first wife, the one that is legitimate. Otherwise, your offspring, if you're the mistress, is not going to be as okay. you're gonna be miserable. Even like I know like there's so many examples from the from the human side of things. You know, you watch a lot of dramas, everything, but when it's presented from the animal point of view, it like my brain clicks and like, okay, it's not it's not personal at all. It's just the way animals are designed to be. And when that kind of just stuck in my head, I'm like, okay, I understand. Also, it's the same when I was watching this primate thing. I think Robert Spolansky, something, the professor from Stanford. So he has this lecture series in Stanford University YouTube channel. So you can watch all of his lecture series. Basically, he's a primate expert, and I think in one of his lecture, I watch this hierarchy in baboons or chimpanzee. No, not chimpanzee. I think baboons in one of those primates. I think, and I learned about the female hierarchy system in that primate society. And in that primate society, the higher you are in the female hierarchy, means like your offspring also higher in the hierarchy. And if you are lower in the hierarchy, low rank female, and your offspring basically uh, kind of made the wrong move, meaning like maybe they cut off the one of the kids from the higher rank female, the mother would pull the kids out of the way because it, basically the mother is teaching the kid like, you know, that's not your place, you should let the higher rank goes first and stuff. And there are more to that for sure. It's like, but that's one of the things that I remember. Just like they know in which part of the hierarchy they are. And usually I'm not sure what determines the rank, I forgot. And also I remember learning from those series of lecture is like in because like they have alphas for not alpha but more like uh the main male that would have the right to reproduce. And if that male died, for example, and some of the female are pregnant with their offspring, and then there's a new male coming in taking charge of the colony, for example, the female primates would have the ability to abort their pregnancies so that they will not spend energy and time taking care of um, offspring of a male that is no longer relevant and no longer in society. So I'm not saying that humans are, animals in that sense. We still have our souls that determines quite differently from our counterparts because we have our prefrontal cortex, right? So that's differentiating us from the primate. But I guess what I wanted to say was the female would have availability now to take on a pregnancy of the new alpha male in their colony or in their like society, which is very it's just very logical. A lot of it is just very logical. And also like they have exploring this society of chimpanzee, I think, that managed to kick out and killed, I think, very aggressive male. So the female just choose the one that is very nice to the female and very nice to the other male and very helpful. And it's a very different society of chimpanzee because it's very localized, because they track other society of chimpanzee around it, and they still follow the aggressive, style type of hierarchy in the male side. But they also track this one society where the highest male ranking is not the most aggressive, is the nicest to the women, and they have a very peaceful society and have lower rate of war and lower rate of fighting in fighting. It's very interesting. Sorry. And if we have like some special interest, we dig into it very deeply. And it definitely helped to see how human interact. There's a lot of things that are not personal. I think when I see human interact these days, I get to see when they have stopped using their prefrontal cortex and using their primate brain, because they behave almost exactly the way the primates that were being studied in Robert Splancy, the professor's studies. And I'm like, okay, like that's not even personal. That's just the primate brain is kicking in and is instinct, because it's just how it's ordered from from their primate brain. And it's like, it definitely makes life a bit interesting in terms of watching people behave and stuff. But of course, like as a human being participating in life, kind of halfway in halfway out with me, it's still annoying sometimes. I feel like from the outside I definitely look like I'm a loser, especially maybe from my friends, which is probably why I avoid people, because I don't want to have that reflected back on me. Like, a lot of my friends are probably in very high management positions, or in directorial position, in ownership position, very rich, very settled, and have kids. And the worries are no longer about money. It's more about like, how am I going to get my kids to university, to the right school, to the right, to get the right marks, the right grades, seeing the right people. So the worries have um, grown more to from like, oh, do I have enough money to feed myself? Do I have enough money to buy food, to buy clothing, to pay for rent, to pay for the mortgage? It has gone beyond that. It's like it has gone outside that circle, while mine hasn't, and mine still feels as if that I have um, that I'm living like I was in my 17 year again, my teen years. It's as if it's very hard. Um, and it's not good for my brain, I think. And I'm not pitying myself in a lot of sense. I just need to talk it out, I guess. Otherwise, it's just in my brain. It's just not good. I guess now I'm stopping to hope for miracles as well. I Hoping for miracles feels very sad, because it means you still believe, and I don't think I am still believing. Also, I'm seeing myself now like on TV, like on my camera, and I definitely see signs of aging. Like I definitely see I'm 40 now, and definitely not 20 and spring chicken anymore. There's a lot of things that I'm very grateful of course, but I just can't see how my life unfolds in a positive way, and that's sad. And but there is one good thing. I think recently, I could feel a sense of my knowing coming back. But I'm not sure if it's coming back or whether it's having a short visit. My knowing is like this sense of kind of like reaching a little bit to the future and have a sense of what the future is going to be. just a little bit. Like I used to have it when I was younger, when I was in my 20s and in my teen years. It's as if that there's a little bit of like back then anyway. There was this confidence that oh, of course it will work out. If like, of course I'll have money. Like it's just not a question about it. Of course I get a job. Of course, like there's a lot of this. Of course, like this knowingness, even though like from reality point of view there is not a lot of things going on. There's no evidence of what I believe to be true will happen, but the knowingness is there. And it helped me a lot when I was younger. Of course I didn't really know what it was. I guess I took advantage of it, as if that it was a given, not until it disappeared, I guess. And now slowly sometimes I could sense it back a little bit, not a lot, not entirely. Sometimes I can sense that the knowing sense is coming back or is visiting, is when I can sense like, oh, I think this will happen, and then it happens, and I'm like, oh, this feeling of knowing something is like it hasn't been here for a long, long time. It just feels like a friend came to visit, and it's an old friend, and it feels good. Not sure how long it will stay or whether it's gonna come back or whether it's back permanently because it just disappeared for like 13, 14 years. um you know Maybe because I don't know, Jupiter or Neptune or whatever it is out of my sign, my sun sign. I don't know what astrological thing that usually people give out. Mercury is retrograding. Whatever it is. I guess I just want to find that place of belonging somewhere. Or maybe I just want to have lots of money like everyone else here. I think like it's not the money itself. I think it's a sense of security that we are after. It's a sense of power, sense of autonomy of our own life, like ownership of our own life and having decision that can affect our life being held by ourselves, not on the hand of other people. I think at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to be able to take care of ourselves when we have medical needs and to take care of the people around us when they are in needs and to have the time and space to deal with the things that needs to be dealt with in life. I think that's what we want when we say we want money and stuff, because we want the feeling of freedom to choose, freedom to handle our lives the way we want it, not the way we are dictated by society or by government or by circumstances. I think at the end of the day, that's what we want as a person. Because, like, if you have money and you have kids, you probably want to spend a lot of your times with your kids, and maybe you want to have a hobby. You want to explore something that you like, or you want to figure out what it is that you like because you never really have the time to figure out what you like in life because you keep, hustling. Everything is about survival, and you never really know what it means just to live. And I'm not saying that there is no value in hustling. Of course, there is, of course. But you matter too, and you need to explore life too. It's your life. You don't have to constantly give out to other people or to the system. It's definitely good to explore what you want and what you need in life. Have I become an old boomer? I feel like I have become an old boomer. Anyway, I think that's it for today. Enough waffling. What should I name this? I should name this existential crap. No, existential reflection again. Anyway, I'll see you later. Bye, everyone. Well, click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. And if you want to support directly, go to coffee.com/Valerie. In the description, everything is in the description box below. I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.